Hey everyone, it's Mike with It's Pittsfield Tonight. I am here with Heather McNeice. Heather is running for Pittsfield School Committee this year. Heather, thank you for taking the time to do this.
Thanks for the opportunity.
Absolutely. I've heard a lot about you, a lot of great positive things. So you are a teacher, something you've obviously been doing for quite some time. How long have you been teaching in the Pittsfield Public Schools?
So Pittsfield Public Schools, I taught for 22 years at Taconic High School. Loved it. Just about every minute of it was great. And now I'm at Lenox Public Schools. I teach 6th through 10th grade. So a bit of a change for me. I was 9 through 12 at Taconic.
Okay. So you're well-versed, though, with what's going on in the schools, I'm assuming.
I like to think so. Yeah, I mean, I'm living it every day. I still like kids after all this time, so that's important. I think that when you don't anymore, then you're in the wrong place. So working with kids is still a great place for me. And I'm still teaching the same thing that I've always taught. It's called Strategies for Success. And the reason I made a move to Lenox Public Schools is because Lenox wanted me to start teaching it sooner. So rather than waiting until 9th grade, they wanted their middle school students to start to get that Strategies for Success curriculum. And it felt like a great idea. It's something I had been talking about for a while. I had to take the opportunity, and it's been a good one.
Okay. So what made you decide this year to say, I'm going to run for Pittsfield School Committee?
Yeah, so since I left Pittsfield, I've been thinking about it. And really because, well, first, a lot of people don't understand that if I still worked for Pittsfield, I wouldn't be eligible to run for school committee. It would be considered a conflict of interest. So when I left Pittsfield, it was a hard decision because I love Pittsfield. I grew up here. My kids went to school here. I had a great career here. I wanted to stay connected, and I thought school committee would be a good way for me to do that. It took me a bit to actually make the leap of faith. It's ironic I'm sitting on this porch because Sarah and I have had many porch conversations about school, about Pittsfield, because we love it here, but Pittsfield has a way of tripping over itself, has our whole lives. And so it makes for really great front porch conversations. And I just felt my kids are all grown, nobody's at home, and I have the time. So I know it's going to take a lot of time, and I didn't want to get into that lightly. I want to make sure that I could invest whatever it was going to take in order to be successful.
Okay. Now, with the past year, the public schools, especially PHS, has been in the media quite a bit. Did any of that have any influence on you deciding to run?
So yes and no. I'm not running because I have a laundry list of complaints or issues that I want to contend with. There are issues, obviously. They've been very publicly known. But more so, as a teacher, we're always talking about education. It's all we want to talk about. And a lot of people don't like to hang around teachers because even when they're having fun, they're still talking about school. But now everybody's talking about it. The conversation is enthusiastic, sometimes aggressively so. And I think that that's great because people are actually being part of the conversation. And one of the biggest problems we have in education is just a sense of apathy. People just not really caring. And that's not the case right now. So the conversation has never been louder. And I think that makes it a perfect time to get involved in it.
Absolutely. I could not agree more. When I did my interview with Sarah, I said, I've done so many of these elections, and this is the first time ever that the school committee is drawing more attention than the city council.
Yeah.
And I think that a lot of that fueled it. And you see so many different names running, and that's exciting because the apathy is scary. And I hope we see a good voter turnout this year. So that being said, is there anything in particular you're hearing from your constituents, or is it just any on certain issues?
When I talk to people, if I say, so, what are you most concerned about? I'm not getting a list of things that people are concerned about, but a lot of questions. People are wondering, we have a really large price tag on education in Pittsfield. And rightfully so, it's very important, and I'm glad that we spend money on education, obviously, but we're not really clear on where that money goes to. And there's questions as a teacher. I've always wondered, We see, as teachers, we have a direct impact on student learning because they're in the classroom with us, but there are a lot of costs that are indirect to student learning. I think some are very much warranted, and some I really want to take a closer look at because I don't quite understand how all of those dollars are meeting the needs of kids. Maybe they are, but I don't think that they're very clear. So when people talk about transparency, for me, that piece I think is really important, that we're spending our money where it's going to be most effective for kids. And then personally, I feel like our biggest problem, and one that I've talked to a lot of people about, is retention, our student retention rates and our teacher retention rates. I can say for certain that when I left Pittsfield after 22 years, nobody asked me why. I didn't have an exit interview. And so when we say, why are our teachers leaving? We don't have the data to tell us why. Wow. We can guess, but when we say, why are our students leaving? We don't have the data to say why. I feel like that should be part of school choice. Why are you leaving? And what are your concerns? And how can we do better? But that data doesn't exist. And so to solve those problems, we need to start collecting some of those answers. I could not agree more with that. That's something that I had a conversation with someone about, that any company I've ever worked for, just leaving those companies, they wanted to know, is there a certain reason? Did you take another job? What is the deal here? And that, I'm sure that information compiled gives them a whole better outlook on how to manage the company. So that should be a given with our public schools, because it's scary to see how high the choice out rate is for students, and it's really scary to see so many good teachers that we've lost. So I definitely couldn't agree with you more on any of that. So for people who do want to learn more about your campaign or how to support you or host a sign or something like that, what's the best way for them to get in touch with you? So my email is heathermcniece22@gmail.com. My last name, everybody trips over and spells wrong. So I tell the kids I before E, except in McNeice, it's Neice. If you email me directly, I can send you links. I have a website, and I've had a pretty loud, I would say, presence on social media. And so certainly on Instagram or Facebook, you'll find me there.
Okay. And what is that, just under your name, or is it for the campaign?
It's under Heather O.J. McNeice. I haven't made a campaign page. If I get elected, then I will switch over and keep those separate. But for this time, I kept them together.
Okay. I'll make sure all that's on the screen.
Okay.
Well, Heather, I can't thank you enough for your time, and I wish you the best of luck. I'll definitely follow up with you after the 4th. And everyone, please remember, Tuesday, November 4th, get out and vote. No matter who you support somebody and get out and vote. And of course, Heather would like you to support her.
Thanks, Mike. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Have a good one.
Thank you.